Hi everyone, welcome back to the slot, and today we're gonna make a tier list of the 20 most famous monsters of the Greek mythology, and we will start with Echidna. The Echidna is the mother of all the monsters, and that's why she's so important, especially the twisted one. Okay, there were some monsters that were sons of gods, of deities, and monsters that were sons of her. And yeah, normally the most chaotic, the more twisted were hers. And yeah, she's not that particular. She's just this woman with the snake tail. That's why I feel to put it into the C tier. She's not that special. She was just the matron, the matron, you know, the mother of all of them. And so they, in some way, she was somewhat the primordial seed that created the chaos in the Greek mythology. But yeah, she didn't do anything that special in the myths, in the legends that we all know. So for me, the C position is great. Now the Griffon. The Griffon was this monster that had the body of a lion, the head and the wings of an eagle, and yes, he was not that much evil. He was a protective beast that was taking care of its master, we can say. And yes, he was a powerful lion that could fly in short. For me, I don't know, I think it's between the A and the B tier, because it's linked to some stories, but not any of them is that relevant. And yeah, it's a nice beast, but at the end they could have been a little more original. So maybe the B is enough. And now the Typhon. The Typhon is the monsters of the monsters. Okay, it's the biggest monster ever created. He had to fight with Zeus for the dominion of the world, and fortunately Zeus won, because otherwise we would be in a world dominated by monsters. I will put it into the Go to Australia. This is the bottom of the tier list, and I will explain you why. Because it's a little cringe. I mean, they just say, oh, how can it be the greatest monster ever, and they just made this giant with wings and many dragons coming from his arm. So I mean, nothing. I mean, it's quite boring because it doesn't have personality. Just let's think about the most crazy, twisted and chaotic monsters we can picture, and let's put it there. So for me, it doesn't deserve more than that. Now the Cerberus. The Cerberus is definitely one of my favorite. I love it. He was the watchdog of the Hades, of Hades, so of the afterlife, the underworld, and yeah, it was basically the barrier between the world of who was living and the world of who was dead. That's why it's such an interesting monster, and he's a dog with 3 heads. I hope that it's big, because in some games is depicted like a middle-sized dog, when I hope it's a huge beast with 3 heads. And yeah, I just love it. That's why I will put it into the 8 in the S tier. That for me is Take My Dog. Now the Minotaur. The Minotaur for me is a A tier. A-tier monster. He's linked to the story, the legend of the labyrinth, that it's quite interesting. You should check my video about that, if there is someone there, I don't know. And yeah, it's a funny character. I mean, it's a son of a deity and a bull. Okay, you are free to think what happened between these 2 people. I mean, one person and one bull. And yeah, he came up and Daedalus thanks to with the order of Minos, they decided to put into this labyrinth and take people from the Greece to Crete to go to the labyrinth and basically feed the Minotaurs with themselves. At the end, they got defeated, and yeah, it's okay. And yeah, it's a funny monster, and it quite represents the monstrous part of people. That's why it's definitely interesting. And yeah, I will put it into the A tier. Now the Pegasus. Even the Pegasus, for me, I mean, it's good, but actually, if you think, it's they were Greek people. They were having horses, and they thought, oh, think about a horse with wings. Okay, they were obsessed with wings, so they just wanted to put animals together. Pegasus was born by from the blood of Medusa, and then was used was I mean a hero that I think it's Bellerophon wrote it to defeat the Chimera that we will talk later, and this was its biggest scope in the lore. So yeah, I think I will put it into the sea. It's fascinating, and yeah, it's a symbol of the pureness, the genuinity, but yeah, nothing that interesting here. The Charybdis. The Charybdis is another big monster of the water. Actually, we should evaluate the Charybdis, sorry, and Scylla together. I will explain you why, because they're linked to the same story. They were saying that is over the sea there were these two beasts, both very dangerous, but the Charybdis was the most dangerous. And Ulysses in the Odyssey, he decided to go to the sea where there was the Scylla, because they say, okay, the Scylla is less dangerous. And this was a metaphor to, for when you're in a situation and you have just to choose the thing least problematic. And if both are problems, you have just I don't know, I think it's called the lesser evil. Okay, so there are two evils and you will choose the lesser, but you have to choose the evil in any case. And the Charybdis was a son of Poseidon turned by Zeus for some reason into this monster that was swallowing entire part of the oceans and the ships with that. And even here, it's funny, it's terrible, but I don't find it that cool. While the Scylla, for me, it's definitely a take my dog tier. No, probably, yeah, the Charybdis here. And the Scylla, probably, here. Because it's a sea monster with the many heads. And, for me, it's very cool. I love it. There was a game called Age of Mythology, and it was definitely my favorite unit to recruit. So, yeah, it deserves this place because, yeah, it's very funny. Now we have the Empusa. I think, she's the Empusa. Okay, the Empusa was basically this lady with, it's not in this photo, but she is supposed to have a leg of bronze, and a leg of an animal. And yeah, the interesting things about her is that she was a shapeshifter, and she was turning into a beautiful woman to manipulate men. So even here, interesting, but I never heard many stories about her, even if she apparently was very powerful. So I think to go to Australia can be a good thing. And now we have the Centaur. The Centaur is another monster that I like particularly because it's a link between the bestiality, okay, inside the people and the people themselves. And the greatest Centaur was Chiron. Okay, that was this wise man that at the same time was going, with other girl horses to do his stuff. So yeah, it was depicting the two sides of a man, and that's why for me it deserves the A tier. They were very interesting, and even them, I play with them in many games, and they're always very fascinating, very charming. And yeah, they are fancy, they are elegant, and at the same time they are fierce warriors and wise men. Now the Medusa. The Medusa is another, for me, top tier monsters. Her lore, her story is probably the best legend ever written by the Greek people. And it was this girl that was a priestess of Athena, but then Poseidon took her, and as a punishment Athena turned her into this monster, but she was still praying for Athena. And then came a guy that you probably know and just behead her. But she has a very interesting story. And then a snake woman with some snakes from her hair that can petrify with their gaze. It's amazing. The phoenix is another interesting monster because it symbolized the rebirth, the regeneration, because it was this flaming bird that was dying, turning into ashes and then born again from these ashes. And yeah, it was symbolizing the rebirth of the soul, or I mean the cycle of life and death. And it was very important in the Greek mythology, even if it's not like it's more symbol than monster of a story. So we can put it into the B tier. And now we have the hippocampus. This is another nice monster. I think I will put it in the B tier. It's like the Pegasus, but honestly I prefer the water element than the air element. And yeah, they were supposed to pull the cart of Poseidon, okay, the chariots of Poseidon over the sea. And yes, I think someone just saw, I don't know if because there are the seahorses in the ocean, but I don't know if Crete people were already submarines and they already found it. That's why they put it together, or maybe it was just like let's put together a horse and a fish, and here we have the hippocampus. So yeah, nice. The Hydra, the Hydra of Lerna is another monster that was laid by Hera. I don't remember if it was Hercules probably, or someone else, but yeah. And yeah, it was a nice monster that could regenerate his head. He has one immortal head and then many different heads that could regenerate. And yeah, it was very fascinating to kill this beast. They had to basically, with the fire, cauterize the cut head so they could not reborn again. It was a very complex process, but yeah, a very big monster with many heads. And yeah, it was symbolizing the thing that the problems, when you cut one problem, there will be more problems. Okay, because when you cut one head, they are burning two, and so on. So very, very interesting. And then we have the satyr. The satyr for me is a C tier. They were this basically half human, half goat that were, very addicted to wine, to woman. And yet they were depicting the, as I said before, the more wild part of men. But yeah, I mean, I think they were just disturbing, in that age. They are in many stories, but they never had like a relevant role. Okay, they're just part of the environment and to give something to the folklore. Now the Sphinx. The Sphinx for me is a Goat Australia monster. Basically, the Sphinx of the Greek mythology was this always lion. I think the body of a lion, the wings of an eagle, and the head of a woman. And yeah, it was just they wanted to make something crazy and corrupted that was I think he was patrolling the Thebes city, the Greek city of Thebes. And yeah, there's nothing, no big story about them. It was just a big monster. Probably was a kind of a dissing to the Egyptian mythology, because yeah, they were saying that's what we think of you, that you do this kind of monster. But even here, nothing that interesting. And now we have Ladon. Ladon, it was just a monster that was protecting some golden apples. And yeah, really nothing that interesting here, so nothing to say. And then we have Talos. Talos was a colossus. It was protecting, patrolling. It was built by Hephaestus. Okay, the god of the crafting. And it was an automat, I don't know how to say correctly, but yeah, it was this giant sculptured thing that had a little of the blood of the immortality, that at the end they basically destroyed, taking off this blood from a part of a nail where there was this little piece of blood. And yeah, it's nice because I mean I like the idea of a guardian. I don't remember which island or city he was protecting, but yeah, think about the city protected by a giant colossus made of I don't know, stones, going around. I don't know. I just love the idea. That's why the bit here, and it's not linked to any many stories. So I think here the Nemeian lion. Nemeian lion was defeated by Hercules, I think, in the was the first labor, and he defeated with with this strength okay, with bare strength, without any weapon, just suffocating him, I think. And yeah, it was this big lion that was terrorizing the city of Nemea, and yeah, it was very strong. They say that his skin was impenetrable, and yeah, even here nothing that interesting, but honestly I like lions. So yeah, I'm probably not go to Australia, but the city here, it's good. And now we have the Chimera. The Chimera for me is definitely a take my dog tier. It's the body of a lion with the head of a lion, another head of a goat that is coming outside from the back, and a tail that was a snake. And yeah, lovely, even if it's twisted. I don't know, I really like this combination. And yes, it was killed by Bellerophon riding the Pegasus, as I said before. He could spit fire and yeah, many things, and in any case it's crazy. I really would like to see something like that. Probably is the monster here that I would like to see most in the, you know, in the real world. I think it would be very interesting and yeah, and lovely. I mean, it would be definitely my pet. Thank you for following me, and let's see in another episode of The Slot.